What up, people? Welcome to a special edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast featuring the one and only Mike Steph, best in the world at what he does. And I know you're probably wondering what's special about this now. I mean, like every week, every time you drop, it's a special edition to this, special edition to that, special edition to this. What's so special about this? Well, what's so special is I told y'all I wasn't coming back this week. I wasn't dropping the episode this week. But things have happened in the current event cycle that I've been digesting over the last couple of days. And I said, you know what? On one hand, I can wait until next week and drop, but then my thoughts, my opinion probably might not be as strong, might not be as current. And as often was the case with my songs, my tracks, my mixtapes, and so forth, I tend to think of this as a venting mechanism at times. And being the fact that I actually have an extra day off, because I took an extra day off this weekend to celebrate the 30th birthday of my son Nakai, um, 30th heavenly birthday of my son Nakai. Yeah, I said, I got a little bit of free time in my hand right now. I got things accomplished. I did some chores, and I'm going to reward myself and reward y'all with a special surprise episode. I'm going to go down the list of things of what I'm going to talk about. And then I'm going to get this shit on the way because it's not going to be a 2 hour extravaganza. Hopefully, this won't be a 90-minute extravaganza. Hopefully, I can get this in within an hour, in and out, like I do in Made for Kids. In and out, in and out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. You get the gist. So, what's on the agenda? I'll tell you. This coming weekend, in actually my backyard, the metropolitan area, New Jersey to be exact, even though I'm from Crown Heights, Brooklyn, WWE will present their first 2-day extravaganza, their 2-day party of the summer, SummerSlam. Yes, headlined by a street fight for the WWE Undisputed Championship, held by John Cena, defending against former champion Cody Rhodes. Oh, excuse me. No, I'm not tired. I'm just really kind of like nonplussed about wrestling right now. I'm not gonna lie. But being the fact that I have a lot of gratitude due to a certain demographic that chose for me to be their outlet for wrestling news, I did say that I was going to repay the favor by actually dropping more consistently on the wrestling front. Plus, it's that in between time. Basketball is kind of dried out. Baseball, as you can see, is in full-fledged, full effect. But I'm not really talking about baseball right now, nor have I actually talked about it since the beginning of the season. And football is right here, right on the way. But that's why my other property of Hidden Gems football is for. And regular season, or the Jets talk that you could use would be right here exclusively. Well, not exclusively, but would be right here on the Salty Thoughts Mike Steph. But besides that tangent, I figured I had to get off my chest of why I feel like wrestling is kind of in a rut. Or maybe I'm in a rut from watching wrestling. I don't know. I don't know. Something happened the last 2 weeks in particular that before would just be like automatic, and this time I made not a concerted effort, but I was like, you know what? I'm good. 3 weeks in a row, I really didn't watch Raw, even though that's the show that I'm actually home for. I'm at work during NXT. I'm at work doing SmackDown. I'm at work doing AEW. But I've been made a concerted effort. Like, I'm not wasting my time with that shit. But the last 3 weeks we came to Raw, did it also. And I wanted to know why. And I'm going to ask y'all why. there's numerous reasons why maybe on my front, but there might be numerous reasons on your front that you agree with me. So we're gonna tackle that, and I'm gonna give my quasi preview of WWE SummerSlam 2025. Now, we did have some news that happened, some controversial news that happened last week, and that was the passing of Hulk Hogan. Yeah, the immortal CS Hulk Hogan, right? And a lot of mixed opinions on this figure, on this important figure in the realm of wrestling, an important figure in pop culture, especially in the 80s and 90s, and a very loathsome individual in his later years. He passed away, I believe, last Thursday at the age of 71. I'm going to give my thoughts on that. I'm going to give my uncensored thoughts on that. Especially me being a black man, considering what Hulk Hogan has said and has felt about black people in general and black men in particular. I feel like I would be remiss, especially being the fact that I have been staunch in my opinion, in my displeasure of Hulk Hogan when he was alive, that I would give my 2 cents in his passing. Now, you know what? I'm going to wait until I talk about that to explain why I gave it that little bit of pause and decided to wait. And then last but not least, I'm going to give some random salty thoughts that I need to get off my chest. One of which is kind of courtesy of Don Hahn and Rosenberg, available in New York on what is it? 8:50, 8:80 a.m. in New York, or the ESPN New York app. They had a discussion today about men, older men in particular, wearing cargo shorts, wearing oversized cargo shorts, wearing black socks and white sneakers, or white sneakers and black socks. Just pretty much style related. Also, they had a discussion about the public consumption of weed. And the certain ways you can think of, like, all right, listen, we know it's illegal and people can smoke without having to worry about, but this is how I'm gonna put my little twist on it. I come from a generation where your ass could get locked up for smoking a spliff walking down the street. Matter of fact, your ass could get locked up for smoking a spliff in front of your apartment. Not apartment building, apartment. So 30 years later, where people just feel the need to spark up anywhere, like, we could tell where the generational line is drawn. And I'm going to have some thoughts on that, amongst other things. And maybe, just maybe, a slight thought, slight comment on Mr. Robot. Yes, Mr. Robot was a show that came on 10 years ago on the USA Network that I loved, and loved so much that when it came on Netflix, even though it had been on, I think, Amazon Prime, when it came on Netflix, I said, you know what? I'm going to rewatch this. I'm going to watch it from beginning to end. I'm going to binge it, right? Specifically because I want to see two things. One, the world as we know, or as we knew it back then, is a strange parallel to the world we are now, and the world that they were talking about. First and foremost, I wanted to see this through unfiltered eyes, and to see if I picked up on a lot of things, because these 4 seasons were very dense, and there's a lot of things, if you really wasn't paying attention, you would miss it. And I can truly say I missed a lot, but I also probably understood the premise even more and appreciated even more now than I did 6 to 10 years ago, because I believe it ended in December, the last episode of December 2019, right before the pandemic. So I'm going to give my little thoughts on that. So without further ado, we're going to get this show underway. Look at that. Ain't that something? That's me and Brother Mont in Mexico. And me doing the good night and goodbye. Back.
Salty thoughts of Mike Steph, this marks a new beginning. Thanks for supporting a total reinvention. The soul is still here, but the vibe's a little different. Unpredictable, hide the kids and the women. Sports of all sorts, music mixed with living. Rep New York City, but hate the politicians. Always bring the heat, Steph bacon in the kitchen. Big shout to y'all, I appreciate the listen. Donnie put the rest, but I'm still in the best in the world of what I do. All y'all know the rest. I live it, I breathe it, I'm the whole definition. The pinnacle, the ultimate, I'm on a new mission. The salty thoughts of Mike Steph.
You know what's funny? Right now, I have no idea how this is going to come out because I currently have a headphone problem, which is funny in so many ways. But so hopefully this is coming out nice and clear because I actually have my earpods in so I could listen, connected to my microphone that I could speak. Hopefully they're not getting crossed. Hopefully I'm not sounding like I'm underwater or so forth, or whatever, right? So, Hulk Hogan. Where should we start? I came on here not to really go over everything. Like, everybody knows he was a racist piece of shit. That he was caught on tape saying, calling us black people niggas, saying, niggas ain't worth, they're not good enough to date my daughter. They would actually have to be like pretty much like the top 1% of nigga of black people to date my daughter. Even then, I just really went to my daughter, even though, he smiled at everybody's faces and so forth. And then when he came across and when he was asked to speak to WWE clientele, when they were trying to bring him back to the fold, instead of being remorseful for his actions, for his words, he pretty much like, listen, brother, just don't get caught, brother. That's what happens when you're in the public eye, brother. Just the fact that this mother effer co-opted the word brother. For years, me and my brother would actually speak about it, right? That sometimes we interpreted white people saying, "What's going on, bro? How you doing, bro?" That was like their code word for saying nigga. Or they just felt like they had to talk job talk or put the fist up, which is very, very condescending. Just speak to me, though, dude. I mean, like, even us saying dude, it's not the same as them saying brother or bro. When somebody say, "What's going on, bro?" I'm like, yo, listen, especially before everybody just co-opted with bro and bro and bro. Yo, that's my bro. Like, two sisters calling each other bro. Like, this shit don't make no sense. Pronouns be damned. But anyway, I always thought him saying brother is crazy, because now when you switch it around and replace brother with nigga, even when he's not talking about black people, it's a whole different Hulk Hogan. It's a whole Hulk Hogan that this mother effer should have been out of here a long time ago. Let me tell you, nigga. But anyway, on a more serious note, but him passing is almost like you have to be in one of two camps. Either the camp that you celebrate him regardless, you try to divide the fact that, all right, Terry Bollea was a foul individual, but Hulk Hogan, now that's the mother effer that got me through my childhood. I've said it on many WrestleMania memories during my WrestleMania memory series, which is still coming. I know I've been bullshitting. I've said it in private. I've said it off air that Hulk Hogan, yes. Would I say I was a Hulkamaniac? No, I wasn't. Hulk Hogan was my introduction to wrestling. But very quickly, I realized Hulk Hogan, the character back in the 80s, was a piece of shit. He was a heel. He never was a face. Say your prayers, eat your vitamins, all that goody two-shoe shit. You know when people are too good for their own good, they're usually trying to hide something? Say your prayers. I pray every night that my daughter, my soon-to-be daughter, my daughter that is not even here, does not get fucked by a big black nigga. Eat your vitamins, i.e., getting shot in the ass, going down to Mexico, getting that Toradol, getting that special blend, and then going to our city because black people, we just eat up anything, and just say, listen, brother, I used steroids once, and that was years ago, but all this is natural. I swear, he was so bloated, you could just take a pin and just deflate him, which ended up happening in 93 and 94. But that's the camp. Terry Bollea and Hulk Hogan. Or the other camp of that nigga dead, I'm going to spit on his grave. And that's what karma gets. It's one or the other. And I'm not going to apologize for spraying the N-word like a Uzi right now. Because I'm saying that for emphasis, but I'm saying it because I just feel like it needs to be said. Nor am I in an apologetic mood. But it's almost like if you try to split the bit, or if you're in the middle of those two camps, you get called out for not choosing a side. It's almost like we're out independent. No, you got to be a Republican. You got to be a Democrat. Can't be independent. You must choose. You must learn. Well, I'm that guy that always chooses the path less chosen. I'm going to split the bit. Now, I've called Hulk Hogan a cocksucker while he was living. And I believe he has a lot of cocksucking tendencies. But, and I know this could apply to any and everybody, but I'm not speaking about any and everybody. I'm speaking about myself. I choose not to spit on graves. Like, that's not for me to choose. That's not for me to judge. It's only for the maker to judge. And when we all ultimately meet our judgment day, then that's when we'll be held accountable. You're entitled to your opinion, nevertheless. I just try to, I wouldn't say respect the deceased, but not piss on their grave, so to speak, because everybody got skeletons. If I was a piece, some people say if you're a piece of shit while you're living, and then you die, that doesn't make you not any less of a piece of shit. And I get it. I would rather you keep that energy, and people who keep that energy, salute. I can't get mad at that. I choose not to. I'm not going to be celebrating him like WWE did the last weekend. Coming out with merch because of course they got to get the almighty dollar. Going on 10-minute, 15-minute soliloquies and and tributes. Like, yes, he is a very, very prominent figure in the world of wrestling, in the history of wrestling. I get it. But there's ways in paying respect to the fact that he died, and not putting him on a pedestal of, listen, he was this great man. No, he was a great character. He was a great piece in the puzzle. Maybe the ultimate piece at that time in the puzzle of wrestling. Like I said, I just have, I guess, like I said, this could be applicable to everybody, but I've just had, especially now, especially this past weekend, I've had too many passings in my lifetime, close friends, family, first and foremost, that at the end of the day, that man has a family. Did he give a fuck about anybody else's family? No, especially when he was on stage, you know, repping for Trump and Vance 2024, make America great again, in front of a rabid racist crowd that was amped for blood. Is that man and this man the same? Unfortunately, they are, because they both were characters. Terry Bollea became the Hulk Hogan character. They were one and the same. So when you celebrate Hulk Hogan, or when you try to separate the man from the character, the man from Terry to Hulk, you really can't, because that man blended him. He went on a national stage, a political convention, as Hulk Hogan, not as Terry Bollea playing Hulk Hogan. No, I'm Hulk Hogan. I'm Americana. I want to help make America great again. Yeah, that's what it was. Now, I'm not going to be in the camp of, should you just abide by, if you have nothing to say nice, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. Listen, everybody has their opinion. Should you pile on? Probably not. Okay. Let's say you at your worst moment. Matter of fact, time. I'm gonna go to depths that maybe I shouldn't go, but fuck it. Did he kill anybody? Now, the reason I asked that, Hitler was a racist motherfucker, right? Literally, he believed in one master race. Everybody else be damned. Jews, blacks, everybody. Done. If you wasn't blonde with blue eyes, even though this motherfucker had black hair and a black mustache, whatever. But if you wasn't blonde and blue eyes, he wasn't fucking with you, right? He wanted you eradicated because you wasn't pure. That motherfucker, that's somebody you do not. That's somebody who you, for lack of a better term, piss on their grave, because he literally killed thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people with that belief. This stupid white dude, shriveled up from all the years of steroids and tanning, saying that he didn't want his daughter to be fucked by a nigga. Yeah, that's bad. Is it the same? Reason I say that, this goes back to the discussion that I had with Mr. McDowell from Gimmick Infringement, right? Do you pick and choose? Is everything all encompassing? Or do you pick and choose where you show outrage. Do you pick and choose? It's similar to boycotting. It's similar to canceling and so forth. I'm going to bring up another very important wrestling figure in the annals of history that outwardly said racist shit, not in private, not outwardly like getting on a convention, but pretty much in character. Enter Rowdy Piper. Yes. Matter of fact, that's the best picture right now. In his feud, in 1990 with Bad News Brown, it culminated at WrestleMania 6 in a match in which Roddy Piper literally painted half his body black. He literally, this was a cop out. Well, I didn't want it to make it about race. I'm black, I'm white, we're all the same, we're all human. Fuck out of here. Y'all really believe that? Did y'all really believe that? Or was that his cop out of saying, you know what? I'm about to face this black man and I'm gonna put blackface on and I'm just gonna try not to get the backlash. He got backlash about it, but it wasn't strong because it wasn't social media. I mean, wrestling wasn't that, and he wasn't Hulk Hogan. But when he passed, did anybody really bring this up? Did anybody say, fuck the hot rod? Or was he celebrated? Or was the discontent muted? I asked that. Look at Mean Gene's face. Mean Gene's even looking like, yo, Roddy, I might not fuck with niggas like that either, but yo, you wildin'. Then we go all the way back to WrestleMania #1. Hulk Hogan and Mr. T versus Mr. Wonderful and Rowdy Piper. The whole lead up to WrestleMania 1 was Roddy Piper making racist comments toward Mr. T, saying, how could your mother let you out the house like that? Why did your hair look like that? What's up with all the gold chains? Why are you so fond of chains? You look like a gorilla making monkey noises, literally calling him an ape. And you want to know why Mr. T looked like he wanted to knock his head off? Because he literally wanted to knock his head off. This was on TV. This was in the lead up. Was that brought up when Roddy Piper passed away 11 years ago? Maybe it was muted. Now, for something that's not racial but more ethnical, his famous mini feud with Bruno Sammartino, the living legend, right? The pride of Italy, the original Italian stallion when it comes to wrestling, especially in New York and Boston. During an infamous Piper's Pit in MSG, Bruno felt like he needed to put Roddy Piper in his place, and Roddy Piper wanted to get under the skin of Bruno Sammartino. Did he call Bruno Sammartino a guinea? No. But he called him something just as bad, an ethnic slur. He called him a wop. He said, you stupid wop. For those who don't know what wop means, wop is a derogatory term without papers, meaning you stupid immigrant from fucking Italy. Never mind about the fact that he's supposed to be Scottish and he's literally a Canadian. All this was on TV. That's how we found out about it. That's how we knew about it. It was on TV. So it's 3 instances of Roddy Piper on TV, quote unquote, in character, being a bigot, being a racist, and spewing ethnic slurs and ethnic caricatures. I say all this not to excuse Hulk Hogan, because Hulk Hogan was an ignorant piece of crap. Hulk Hogan, like I said, has to deal with his makeup. But there is a line, there is a middle ground of celebrating him and acting like none of that shit ever happened, and denigrating and saying, you know what? I'm glad that nigga's dead. Fuck him. Fuck the Hulk Hogan. There's a line of decorum. To borrow a line from Michelle Obama, when they go high, when they go low, we go high. A lot of people, even if myself included at times, say when they go low, we go lower. Yeah, trust me, I've been known to be a petty individual, if you will. But like I said, it's just something. It's something different when somebody is no longer here in the physical, and especially like I said, they didn't kill nobody. Listen, you can have all your displeasure, but it shouldn't be a parade and saying, you know, fuck this nigga. Yo, fuck Hulk Hogan. All right, yeah, fuck Hulk Hogan. Okay, I get it. As recently as early this year, I actually had a segment with a guest that entitled "Fuck Hulk Hogan." So I get it, and I'll be proudly wearing my anti-Hulk merchandise whenever I feel like wearing it. Not gonna be like, oh, dog, he passed. I'm not gonna wear it. Well, fuck that. But I'm going to say how I feel without desecrating the dead. You know, desecrating the dead. That's just how I feel. I just feel like, especially, okay, I'll say this last thing, and I have to give credit to this way of thought, brother fan from the Black Wrestling Podcast, BRP to be exact. One of the statements he said was, listen, Hulk Hogan died to me 10 years ago when I heard how he felt about us. And I totally agree. He's like, listen, I came into wrestling with Hulk Hogan. I wasn't a Hulk Hogan fan, but I came into it. That was part of my childhood. But once he said what he said about my people, fuck him. Like, all right, fine. Like, so it's not like, oh my God, Hulk Hogan died. Hulk Hogan been dead. And that was probably the most eloquent thing that I've heard in this whole tug of war on how you should tackle this situation, or how you should feel, or how you're expressing yourselves when it comes to this. I'll take it one step further. And it actually, before he said what he said, there was, I don't know how many people remember, but there was this was back in when Comedy Central was having all these celebrity roasts. The roast of Charlie Sheen, the roast of this, the roast of that. They had the roast of David Hasselhoff, right? And Hulk Hogan was one of the roasters. And when I heard Hulk Hogan curse and talk about pussy, that's where my vision of Hulk Hogan from my childhood died. Later on, when I found that he's a racist piece of shit, that was just icing on the cake. So I'll end with this. Over the last week, unfortunately, that old saying, death comes in threes. That's what happened. We had Malcolm Jamal Warner, famously from The Cosby Show, drowned and died last week on vacation in Costa Rica at age 54. Then we had Ozzy Osbourne, lead singer of Black Sabbath, patriarch of the Osbourne family, died last week. And then we had Hulk Hogan, he was the third. And my wife asked me, matter of fact, me and my wife had a conversation, and we was like, darn, I don't remember ever all these people in public, famous people in public figures dying, so many people dying at the same time as it has this year. And while that might be true, it probably is true, I chose to think of it like this. Well, when we're in our 50s, late 40s, early 50s, right? So our runway is longer. So we've come across different eras, different generations in our time on Earth. So there's a larger field to grab from, if you will. So when we're little and we're watching I Love Lucy, let's say that when we was born, that was 20 years old, right? They were still living. We were still aware of them, but they were way older than us. So when they passed, damn, Lucille Ball passed, Desi Arnaz passed, Jackie Gleason, Honeymooners. We're watching when we were little, 25 years old at the time. Those episodes. Jackie Gleason passed. Art Carney passed. Then we get into the Jeffersons. Sherman Helmsley passed. Archie Bunker passed. All these people are years above us. So in our 50 years, we've seen all these generations pass. And now we're at the age of, it's not so much all these people are passing. We're realizing, like, darn, our mortality is showing. Because now we're at that age that we've seen people behind us, we've seen people in front of us, and we've seen people in our age bracket pass. The whole gamut. So yeah, part of our childhoods, part of our teenagers, part of our young adulthood have been touched by all these public figures that are passing. And then it makes you wonder, like, damn, I got more road behind me than I have in front of me. Not trying to be morbid, but it is what it is. I'll be 49 next week. In 7 days, I'll be 49. As much as I would love for it to happen, I'll tell you the truth, I hope it does. At least, yeah, I hope it does. I pray it does. Do I have another 49 years on me? I'm trying my damnedest to make sure that I can squeeze every bit of what's destined for me. But am I going to live until I'm 98? I think I saw a post that Biggie's grandma just turned 103. God bless. Am I going to live to be 98? Maybe with the decisions that I've made over the last couple of years, I might just make it. My grandmother passed. She was 91 when she passed. My mother passed when she was 62. My sister is officially in that bracket. I'll just put it that way. And I really didn't mean to blurt it out like that, but we're getting close to the age of, okay, darn, are we going to outlive our parents? I think my father lived until he was like in his late 70s, early 80s, right? Can I get to there? My whole childhood gone. I mean, I'm not talking about wrestling. I'm talking about my legitimate childhood. Everybody I grew up with are no longer here. My mom, my grandma, my aunt, my uncle, my cousin, my bro. Gone. I have one person left, not counting my sister. And I know you're like, what are you talking about? Your sister. Listen, there's a gap. There's a reason. And that's why I cherish the time that I have with her right now. But it's only one other person that is part of my childhood that's here, only because I'm a little older than him. And that's my little cousin. Ooh. I got 4 years on him. So if I'm going to be 49, he's going to be 44 this year. $45 this year. That's it. And he's the only cousin I'm older than, which explains a lot. And I'm glad we spent time and we finally got to the same. So he understands me, I understand him, and it's always a beautiful time to be with him. But yeah, so that's why, to sum it up, that's why my reaction and my tone and my thoughts when it comes to this dude passing is what it is. You know, because I just feel like I'm to that point that I'll just be measured in my thoughts and my tone when it comes to that. It's crazy. Anywho, next topic: SummerSlam, or SummerSham, or SummerScam, or SummerSnore. You be the truth. You be the judge. SummerScam. Does anyone truly care? I asked that question because we're coming up on SummerSlam, the first 2-night SummerSlam in history, and I just don't feel it. It's going to be headlined in night 2 by John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes. There's a lot of matches that I should be amped up about, and I just don't really care. Am I going to watch it? Eventually. SummerSlam, the last couple of years, have been very, very peculiar to me because since they changed it to pretty much the first Saturday of August, that's usually my birthday weekend, and I got better things than to sit in front of the TV and watch SummerSlam. I get to it. Peacock on demand, I get to it. Last 2 years, I've been out and about. I got to it later. Ironically, both times I watched on delay in Pennsylvania. Go figure. Because I was with Sister Steph and Brother Mark. But now this year, I got 2 days to catch up on. Normally, like WrestleMania, I'm like, you know what? I'm taking that day off. Now, when they became 2 days, I'm taking that weekend off. Because WrestleMania, baby. SummerScam? I thought about it because I'm off Sundays. And Saturday, I'm like, damn, I should put in for Saturday so I can watch Saturday and Sunday. Then I'm like, whoa. But last 2 years, I've been off. I just haven't been off to watch SummerSlam. So why am I gonna take money out of my pocket to watch SummerSlam? I.e., take the day off. I mean, don't get me wrong, I get paid for the day, but still lose just a little bit, couple coins. Also, I was like, 2 days, I'm off Sunday. But your boy got to get on that OT train starting this week. And either I have a choice. Do I forego some OT money to continue my summer of Steph? Or do I stay home on my black ass and watch Summer Scam? Something that I'm not really that hyped for to begin with. So, probably not going to watch either one. I'm not going to watch live. I'll get around to it, but I'm not going to watch live. And the way the product has been, I just don't feel like watching. But I watched a little bit of Raw last night. Last week, did I watch some Raw? I watched a little bit of Raw, but it was like on the background. I was still getting my bearings on coming back from our extravaganza on the Carnival Horizon, which actually, to be quite honest, because I got some behind the scenes info, especially even on the website, that a lot of people, let's just call Carnival Horizon not the cleanliest boat in the aftermath. I'll just put it that way, because y'all, the sponsor, the censorship is still out and about. So I'm going to go over this card, and I'm going to sprinkle in why I really don't give a fuck about this card. Even though it's shaping up, it's looking like I should, right? WrestleMania Saturday. Well, WrestleMania Saturday. SummerSlam Saturday. See? They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 matches on tap. 3 championship matches. And it should be headlined by the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Gunther, the Ring General, versus the straight edge savior himself, the Second City Saint himself, CM Punk. And as much as your boy is a CM Punk fan, I think I already know what's about to happen. There's always been scuttlebutt that Seth Rollins' injury is not really an injury, it's a work injury. And this is supposed to be part of the master plan for him to come back and screw CM Punk out of the World Championship and cash in his Money in the Bank contract. Both of which I'm just like, really? Really? That's what we're doing? We're faking injuries? We're faking injuries to the point of making it seem like it's real, just for an angle that everybody could see a mile away? Or maybe they're thinking that, well, the casual fans will think that Seth Rollins isn't around, and even though he explicitly said that as long as he's breathing, CM Punk will never be champion under his watch. This will be the chance for CM Punk to reach his pinnacle, get back to the top of the mountain. But guess what? The World Heavyweight Championship is not the top of the mountain. Not when it comes to CM Punk. I can see CM Punk headlining WrestleMania next year again. That would be his. So with that match, I would personally say I would pick. This is how I'm gonna predict it. Gunther will either will not be walking out of SummerSlam as champion. Gunther is only champion based to give us a little bit of oomph for the Goldberg match, Saturday Night Main Event. So Gunther will not be walking out of New Jersey as champion. It will be turned into a triple threat in which CM Punk will take the fall and Seth Rollins will cash in and make it a triple threat and walk out as champion, or CM Punk will beat Gunther and Seth will cash in. I lean on the part of triple threats. I don't even think he wants CM Punk to go down in the record books as being a world heavyweight champion. So that's prediction number one. Now, other matches. WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match. The Judgment Day. Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez defend against Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. And I will be going with the babyface tandem of Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair is getting a little bit of a rub, a lot of big rub, not only from Alexa Bliss, but from her Players Tribune article in which she really did open up and become vulnerable and let everybody know that no, she's not all right mentally, emotionally. That a lot of things that, yes, her character shouldn't be bothered from, but the woman behind the character, Ashley, is bothered with. And she's been dealing with a lot. She's been dealing with a lot. And the precipice was the run-up in the WrestleMania in which she was booed heavily. And she said, yeah, did it look like it got to me? Yeah, guess what? It did get to me because I don't believe y'all were booing Charlotte Flair. I believe y'all were booing Ashley. And I really think this renaissance, so to speak, in this the softer tone of Charlotte, still being arrogant, but being vulnerable, more importantly, will pay off in some championship gold because she's Charlotte effing Flair. But Charlotte look like not walking around with a belt around her. So that's my prediction. The celebrity match, Randy Orton and Jelly Roll going against Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Well, it comes down to this to me. Will Drew McIntyre take the fall? Or will Logan Paul take the fall? Because I don't see Jelly Roll walking out of that ring as a loser. Randy Orton's supposed heel turn has been put a hold, if there ever was one. But shoot, this is not getting him hated by the fans or even prepared to be hated by the fans. I would much rather just have Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre one-on-one, but you got to have a little pizzazz, right? So the team of Randy Orton and Jelly Roll with the win, RKO to everybody, even Jelly Roll at the end, because at the end of the day, Randy Orton's going to hear some voices in his head. Now, for the women's WWE Women's Championship, Tiffany Stratton, Tiffany time versus Jade Cargill. With the chess piece of Naomi removed from the board, if you're going to give it to Jade, this would probably be the time. And this to me would probably be the beginning of the lead up between an eventual match between Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. Tiffy time should come to an end. They need to do something with her character because her character is still beyond recognition, foobarred, if you will. And if Jade doesn't win in her first championship opportunity, she has a risk of going down as the 2025 Lex Luger. All the build-up, get the SummerSlam, and not going to happen. So I picked Jade to be victorious. And then last but not least, on Saturday, we have Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross in a match in which the winner must get the loser to say they were right all along. Okay, stakes. Karrion Kross, by him winning in their last matchup, this is the rubber match. Sammy won at Night of Champions. Karrion Kross won at what was the last one? I think it was on Raw, right? Yeah, it was on Raw. So SummerSlam, Sami Zayn gets the victory. Karrion Kross becomes wins even in loss, even in defeat he wins, because first of all he's actually on a PLE card with the actual storyline, and we finally get some type of finality toward this never-ending conflict that was ratcheted up a little bit. But even though Karrion Kross has done a number to Sami Zayn's ribs, Sami Zayn has persevered, and he was off indefinitely, and then he returned the next week. Yeah, such as is Triple H's booking. Now, SummerSlam Sunday, nothing but chock full of championship matches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 championship matches headlined by Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes. He put an exclamation point on their contract signing by splashing John Cena through a table to make this no-holds-barred street fight. And why wouldn't it be a no-holds-barred street fight? Because their regular match at WrestleMania was the absolute shit. But before I get to that, I'm going to go through the rest of the card. Dominic Mysterio, Dirty Dom, defends his Intercontinental Championship against AJ Styles, and being the fact that Dirty Dom is going to be a headliner on Triple A's Triple Mania event later on this month, and AJ Styles got the upper hand against Dirty Dom this past Monday night on Raw. Dirty Dom will surprise all the naysayers and retain the Intercontinental Championship. Yes, I say Dirty Dom is going to retain. Solo Sikoa defends against Jacob Fatu. Defends the United States Championship against Jacob Fatu. You got what I mean? I'm sorry. They are making Jacob Fatu into a caricature. They only made Jacob Fatu lose so they can actually have a chance to run it back for PLE. Give Solo Sikoa a little bit of rub off that for that US Championship goal. But if Solo loses, where do you go now with Solo? If Jacob loses due to nefarious means by the MFTs, you have a little bit more to go. So I think Solo is going to retain and make Jacob's climb just that much harder, because right now it's only him and Jimmy versus the MFTs. And Jimmy ain't enough. Big Jimmy and all. Big Jimmy. Does Jimmy know exactly what Big Jimmy means? With the connotations of Big Jimmy? Maybe he does. Just like he knows people like being Uzi. I don't know. So I think Solo's going to retain. Intercontinental Championship. Street fight. Becky Lynch defends against Lyra Valkyria. Does Lyra? Oh, yeah. With the added stipulation that if Lyra loses, this will be the last time she can challenge for the Intercontinental Championship as long as Becky Lynch has the championship. Bayley is hovering over this match. Will Bayley go after and try to get her revenge on Lyra and inadvertently help Becky Lynch win and retain? Or will Lyra win and get attacked by Bayley, and being Bayley's like, you know what? I'm going to take this bitch out because she got my championship. I think it's the latter. I think Lyra is going to beat Becky Lynch on the grand stage of SummerSlam, and Bayley will attack Lyra after the match to set up their one-on-one feud, with Becky finding greener pastures, i.e., going back toward World Women's Championship contention. Speaking of the World Women's Championship, we have the champion Naomi defending against Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. Naomi cashed in during Evolution, during the match between Io Sky and Rhea Ripley, pinning Io Sky, throwing Rhea Ripley out of the match, and claiming her first World Women's Championship. Will it be a short reign? No. There's a reason why it's a triple threat. That's for Io to take the fall again. You must keep Rhea Ripley strong, especially with Crown Jewel Perth coming up. Do you really think that they're not priming Rhea Ripley to be a headliner at Perth? You'll be sadly mistaken if you think Rhea Ripley ain't getting that championship back by Perth. Not going into championship as champion, but she will be coming out of that as champion, and that is in October. Io Sky, as popular as she is and the groundswell of support that she has had, the way they did her dirty, to me, she only wrestled in non-title matches against Stephanie Vaquer, and she defended her championship once, and that's the time she got cashed in. I could say something else about the rinse and repeat nature of this triple threat, but I will not, just to make sure that I give Naomi her flowers that she richly deserves. Will this be a banger? You're damn right it will be. But Naomi will retain and go into Clash in Paris as champion. Now to the main event. Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes. John Cena. John Cena sucks. John Cena sucks. I swear, John Cena has actually made this too close to form, as in trying to ruin the WWE, trying to ruin wrestling, because his reign has been the absolute shits. His reign number 18. He's gotten better as a heel, especially ever since the Night of Champions program with CM Punk, the controversial championship match. But this match, a lot of people are saying, well, Cody's going to turn heel. No, Cody's not turning heel yet. But he is going to show some heel tendencies. He's going to show that edge that he needed to have back at WrestleMania. Because I'm sorry. There's no way, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I'll reiterate myself. There's no way you let this mother effer John Cena come in, bust you wide open, kick you in the nuts, bust you wide open, and literally take out his Johnson and piss on you, then go to WrestleMania and make you look like a fool. You stay away for 2-3 months. You come back. You don't challenge him for the match. You challenge him to a team match. Then you do things the hard way. You beat 2 of your closest friends to become king of the ring. And then you finally get your rematch with John Cena and make it a street fight. No holds barred. Anything goes. People saying, "The Rock gonna come back? Please, Rock, don't come back." No, Travis Scott is gone, and I think with the amount of appearances left for John Cena, I think this probably be the most opportune time to take the belt off him. Or, okay, do you allow John Cena to win again and run this back at Clash in Paris, Clash at the Castle in Paris or whatever, Clash at the Eiffel, c'est la vie, oy vey, come see, come ça, all that other shit. Or and then you run the risk of Cody Rhodes looking like a loser. Or do you let Cody Rhodes win and you run it back for John Cena to lose consecutive times to Cody Rhodes? So Cody Rhodes actually has the edge, 2 wins against to 1, and that would be the turning point in John Cena either going back face or realizing, you know what? I don't got it no more. I got my championship. I got my record. I'm going to start winding this shit down. I think Cody Rhodes is going to win, and I think they're going to run it back. Unless somebody else gets involved. I don't know. I know there's going to be probably a whole bunch of run-ins, but I see Cody Rhodes winning and regaining his WWE Undisputed Championship. And like, I'm sorry, this looks so lame. You really splashing dude through a table with the contract in hand in a suit with a pen in your hand. After what this dude did to you, that's your comeuppance. Yeah, that's my preview of WWE SummerSlam, i.e., aka, does anybody truly care? I guess I cared enough to give y'all this preview. Now I'm going to give y'all my salty ass thoughts on random shit. Random salty thoughts. Like I was saying before, I've been watching Mr. Robot, and there's so many things with this show that I missed before, but also that I loved. I'm trying not to give out the plot, but pretty much it's anyway. The intricacies of the show and the protagonist, the antagonist, the protagonist. Actually, both Mr. Robot and Elliot. I see a lot of parallels to what's going on now in society. I see a lot of parallels to my own personal journey with the former character, the former entity known as Donnie Wu. No, I didn't have a dissociative personality disorder, but still, it's almost the same thing. But yeah, matter of fact, please just check out Mr. Robot. You'll be glad you did. It's on Netflix. It has 4 seasons. Probably, if you really like, I binged it Sunday night. Like, I watched like 5 episodes back to back to back to back. It's just that engrossing, which is about 4 hours worth of Mr. Robot. But yeah, it's really, they don't make shows like that anymore. Now I'm doing a deep dive into Better Call Saul, which people are probably like, "Oh, you just getting into that?" I don't know. For some reason, when I first tried to watch it, right after Breaking Bad, I couldn't get into it. And then I've watched Breaking Bad numerous times, either random episodes or binge watched it from beginning to end. So I think I'm kind of ready to really dive deep into Better Call Saul. So I'll start watching 2 episodes yesterday, and yeah. But anyway, random salty thoughts. First salty thought is actually my thoughts in this video by Mayor Benson, aka Mayor Eric Adams, and it comes and it encompasses a bigger issue. Why these old niggas trying to be young?
I'm not uncomfortable walking around my people. This is who I am. You go check me out 1 a.m. in the morning. I'm sitting in the back of a closed barbershop or beauty salon, smoking a cigar and drinking some Henny or a single malt scotch.
Okay. You're not afraid to be around your own people. Okay. Good. Let's hear what he said again.
I'm not uncomfortable walking around my people. This is who I am. You go check me out 1 a.m. in the morning. I'm sitting in the back of a closed barbershop or beauty salon, smoking a cigar and drinking some Henny or a single malt scotch.
Okay. So you in your late 50s, early 60s, but late 50s, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. As mayor of New York, you're up 1 o'clock in the morning in a closed barbershop or beauty salon, smoking a cigar, drinking some yak, or drinking a single malt scotch. And I'm supposed to clap my hands for that? Is that supposed to endear yourself to the inner youth, the inner city? Is that supposed to endear yourself to African Americans, black people, niggas? That's is that what's so you're framing yourself as, yo, I'm the dude that be outside, I be popping out everywhere, as opposed to Mandani, who is this the silver spoon fed halal cart jumping progressive that you're going against? I don't get it. I mean, this the same mayor that said, yo, you could catch me in Dykeman. I don't know if I want to see my mayor out at 2 o'clock in the morning, especially when we got a whole bunch of shit that we need to get taken care of in the city. Listen, I'm all about you having a good time. Live your life. But don't be crowing about, yo, 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm in the spot, smoking a blunt, drinking some yak, because I'm just like you. Fuck out of here. That's crazy. That is crazy. It's crazy for the fact that he thought that shit was actually supposed to rock. Now, that brings me to the aforementioned point of old dudes trying to be young. I mean, some people could put me in that category, because if you look at me, you probably couldn't tell I'm 49. But two things. One, and I'm not, I got accused of fat shaming in my last episode, body shaming, and yeah, I might have. And I stand 10 toes down on that shit. There's certain things that I just don't want to see. You shouldn't be subjected to. But also, this. If you have gray hair, let's see, if you have a gray in your beard, predominantly gray in your beard, I shouldn't be seeing you with skinny jeans on, with rips in them, in a tight undershirt, tight white tee. Nah, my dude. Listen, I'm a backpacker because it's just more feasible. I carry a lot of stuff back and forth to work. I wear a book bag. There was a discussion today on Don Hahn and Rosenberg about old dudes wearing cargo shorts. And I've seen that discussion on YouTube about when you get to a certain age, you should stay in the cargo shorts. And I, after years, I've been a proprietor of cargo shorts. But I will say, on my latest cruise, my latest vacation, do you know I made a point to not only buy shorts that were not cargo, but buy shorts that fit me exactly, not skinny, but not overly big. Or how about this? Shorts that actually ended above my knee. Wow. To people who've known me for years, the amount of thigh that I was showing, and no pause, the amount of thigh that I was showing. I'm not saying I have poom poom shorts. I'm not saying I have we wear shorts, but I looked my age. I think. I believe so. First time, like, I actually had a t-shirt that was like this. Years ago, I would have said this was too tight. Now I look at this like, damn, this is kind of too loose. I'm trying to be in touch with this new svelte figure of mine. No pause once again. I'm down to 192. I got about 2 pounds to go. Right now, I'm between that 192, 194 range. I finally got below the 195 mark on a consistent basis. And I'm trying to stay that way. I'm more like a 90. I'm more like a size 35. I'm between a 36 and 34. About not 38 anymore. But if you're pushing 60, 55 even, matter of fact, I'll even lower it down to 50. Shouldn't see you in front of the corner store 2 o'clock in the morning rolling dice. I'm sorry. There's certain things that we just got to get past. And I'm not age shaming nobody. Listen, to each his own. Everybody get your hustle on, whatever. Do you. But if I see you 2 o'clock in the morning in front of the corner store, smoking a blunt, drinking some yak with your pants off your ass, and you got tighty whities on, you need to reassess your life. 2 o'clock in the morning, I might be up, but I'm in the crib. Washed. Proudly washed. Now, another thing that I need to get off my chest.
He lied. Y'all niggas worship him.
I know it's
Lied.
I don't know what he was talking about. I know exactly what I was saying. I don't know what he was talking about. Fuck Funk Master Flex. Yeah, how about that? Another thing was spoken about on Don Hahn and Rosenberg, and that was Todd Butler was in for Don LaGreca on the fill-in, and he was hosting with Anna Hahn. And Todd Butler's 32-year-old young black brother. And he was, and I love when him and Bart team up because they be wilding, right? But he brings a little bit of a flavor to it. He brings a little bit of authenticity to it. He brings a little bit of us to it. Like really, right? So he said he was on a train coming to, on his way to the station, and there was a young lady or a lady, and she was in the train car, and she was just sparking up, taking it to the face. And he was like, listen, I might not smoke, but I'm not one of those like, oh, why you smoking? Blah, 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 blah. To each his own. Roll how you want to roll. But is there any type of decorum anymore? Like, or because you smoke, maybe I don't want to be going into my job smelling like trees. Especially being the fact that I'm a black man, how I look, and I'm doing this one of my biggest days of my life, and I'm about to come into the studio smelling like weed that wasn't even on me. Y'all already got the 2 strikes against me. Y'all probably like, yeah, his reaction time was kind of slow. Yeah, you saw Todd. Todd looked like he was tired. With that aroma, I wonder why he was tired. Now, I actually agree. Listen, I come from an era, like I said in the beginning, I come from an era where you could get locked up by smoking a spliff right in front of your apartment door, right? I come from an era that there was no such thing as grinders and what you call it, reed plates and rollers. I come from an era where you had to get that bud and make sure you kept at least a couple, your fingernails a little bit. And you had to grind that shit, break that shit up with your hand in your palm, all the while looking around, making sure that the D's or the boys ain't coming for you. That's the era that I'm from. The era that no, we didn't have bamboo. We had Dutches. We had Phillies. And either you had a razor blade that you cut it down, but most of the time you had to break that shit down with your hands and make sure that the leaf stayed on. And meanwhile, while we doing this and wrapping that shit, still keeping an eye out for the boys of the D's. I come from an era where there's 4 niggas on 1 L. And that shit got you right. The reason I bring that up is because this new generation of weed smokers. The fuck are y'all doing? You could tell y'all like people that never been out to eat in a nice place. Listen, I know it's legal. I know it's legal. But y'all be acting like straight fiends. Like, you mean to tell me you can't wait until you get off that train to blow? That it's that intense, like 10 o'clock in the morning, you got to be out on the parkway, rolling up, smoking. Y'all be acting like straight fiends. Y'all be thinking that's the weed that's getting you high. No, it's the grabber. It's the grabber. Do y'all know what the fucking grabber is? No, y'all don't. But yet you're going to put it in your L, right? The Akis are selling y'all the dried up leaf from the back, from the backwood, from the front though. You realize that's tobacco, right? You realize tobacco has nicotine, right? So you're not addicted to the weed, you're addicted to the nicotine. You're a fucking head. Lips be all black. Motherfuckers don't even worry about washing their ass anymore before they put their nasty ass lips on a joint. Motherfuckers would rather have to decide, do I want to eat or do I want to smoke? That's the life y'all young niggas are living. Listen, am I judging? Yeah, you're damn right I'm judging. You know why? Because my name is Mike Steph. And I'm straight edge. And you know what straight edge means? I'll tell you exactly what the fuck it means. Straight edge means I don't drink, I don't smoke, and I don't do drugs. That makes me better than you. Yeah, I said it. Do I believe that? Yeah, I actually do. There's certain times you just have to grow the fuck up. And don't get me wrong. And this is coming straight from my heart. I have no ill will to anybody. Whatever your twist is, that's you. Do you. Don't worry, be happy. I have no animosity toward that shit. If you rock it right. But these little niggas don't know how to rock this shit right. They let the shit cloud your mind. Don't realize that the reason why this shit is legalized is to make sure that each and every one of y'all little niggas don't even know what the fuck is about to come up next. Y'all so worried about where y'all gonna get your next high from. You don't even realize that the shit that you're smoking ain't even fucking pure. It just came from the Isle of Jamaica. Don't get me wrong. They were walking around literally with a Tupperware full of big spliffs trying to sell them. In my younger day, I probably would have grabbed one of those shits to the face. But I guarantee you that shit was probably more pure than this shit that y'all think y'all getting high off now. Back in the day, I lived literal minutes from one of the most famous spots. Not only in Crown Heights, not only in Brooklyn, but the city. So famous, it was mentioned on Biggie Smalls' Ready to Die interlude. Yo, where you get this? Don't say well. I guarantee you 30 years later, that shit back then will put some of y'all motherfuckers man down. This Henny y'all drinking, this shit ain't real Henny. Shit ain't even Cavassier. Bet that shit is Paul Mason watered down. Nasty yak. Let me get off my high horse. That brings us to the end of another edition. I ain't shit. That brings us to the end of another edition of the Salty Thoughts Mike Steph podcast, aka a sprinkle of salt edition. I'd like to thank each and every one of y'all for making me in this here podcast the one y'all choose to view and the one y'all choose to listen to. Next week, what I drop, who knows? I wasn't supposed to drop this week, and I gave y'all about going on 90 minutes of pure, unadulterated Mike Steph action. And I'm going to leave it off here because, therefore, if they do, one important thing. Do y'all know that I got hit with a copyright challenge on my theme song? Yes, my theme song. Somebody used the same source that I got my theme song from, and then motherfucker put a strike, put a cease and desist, if you will, on my theme song. Never mind about the fact that they got it from the same source and tried to pass it off as their own. You know I challenged that shit, right? And guess what? Your boy won. So I figured I'm going to put this at the very end. Just in case I get a strike, I can cut it with no loss and still give y'all the meat of the episode. And this is a clip from the aforementioned Mr. Robot. And I'm not going to play the whole 35 seconds, but I'm going to play the pertinent part. This goes hand in hand with my old generation, young generation talk. Hit it, Vera.
Made to play ball, but that wasn't its purpose. Nuh-uh. In that moment, in Lil Bitch's hands, it was there to break this nigga's head open.
I'm telling y'all, watch Mr. Robot. Last season, matter of fact, watch season number 4. I want to say episode 8 or 9, where that scene came from, and you'll see exactly why that spot was the best part of the episode. Just like this is the best part of this episode, me getting the fuck up out of here. So until whenever I decide to come back, I'll holler at y'all later.